we have a few absent members, including...
Yeah, Mrs. Daig and Mrs. Brady.
So we miss you both, but we will try to carry on without your company. And we'll begin by approving our minutes of the last meeting, the meeting that I missed, I confess. And gentlemen, you've both received those minutes?
Yes.
And can we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Looks good to me as well, even though I wasn't here to make them. And then moving on to public comment. We don't exactly have a packed house, so I think we can then just cruise right on to old business. And I did get the impression that since the only thing really cited here was the historic plaque design, that this might be the only reason for us to gather here today. And I did make a call on my way into Erie, and Jeremy, the person who's responsible for fabricating the new plaque, is out sick. So I didn't get a chance to speak with him, but I spoke with Mary, who I've talked with over the years about this very plaque, and mentioned to her that the only thing that I saw in the design photograph that was included in the minutes was the fact that the banners did not read Vero Beach on either side of the vertical elements on the plaque, and I brought that to their attention.
Here?
Yeah.
On the columns?
Mm-hmm. I think it still has the Latin or the...
What was it supposed to say?
It's just going to say on these unfurling banners,
yeah, right,
Vero
right.
Beach.
It says something in Latin.
I think it does say something about God.
Where are you talking about the word should go?
On the fabric banners, it looks like, that are wound around these two columns that
Oh, okay. Okay.
represent the... Well, this is the two houses of Spain. I don't remember exactly what these represent, but it will say Vero Beach.
Okay.
I wonder how come they didn't get that in there.
I'm not sure how that ended up that way, but everything else looks appropriate.
This is clay.
Yes. Fun.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
All right, we don't get to do arts and crafts, though. We're here to think, which is a lot harder. Okay. So, do we actually? I thought we've done the final approval multiple times. Do we?
This is it. I will. I know you have talked to him, and I will email Jeffrey and let them know what the board has decided, and then they can proceed.
Very good.
The only other item we did have, Mrs. Atwell, is approval of the report. That will go to the City Council.
All right, and that was the annual report.
Right.
Short and sweet. I think you've had an opportunity to comment on this more, being here longer, that you can feel we're finally getting some impulsion. We've got our foundation in place, and this commission is going places. So
I've been here a year already.
Yeah, it's been a year. It's been a long year. So I think this is fine. I think this is adequate. George?
Is this building gone?
Yeah, I had a question back according to the coin.
Oh, yes.
What was that one?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Is that an old city building or something?
Yeah.
Would it be appropriate, has it ever been done on others, to have
Can't
a
believe they
date?
tore it down.
A day of?
The incorporation of the city or the creation of the city, or
Well,
Would that be,
the coin is intended to celebrate the creation of whatever building or site that, it's
okay.
it's displayed on, and so there will be a date that commemorates the date of that site or
Of that
building.
site, okay.
But yeah, I think if we put too many dates on there, it might get
Okay.
a little confusing.
That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. At one point, I'd thought about also applying just a number for our inventory. Some cities do that, so that you would also have a master list someplace specific to the city where you could go, oh, number 2, that is the XYZ house. You know, it makes it a little easier to classify it for local purposes, especially.
Okay.
But the board decided not to do that for whatever reason. I don't remember.
Okay.
So. Okay, so it sounds like everyone's fine with the annual report, then?
As much as I know about it, yeah. Again, my apologies for being so brand new and sometimes not taking so much time to look at these things. This is the first time I've seen it, and
This is pretty
I'm assuming
apropos.
this goes back even beyond the point where I was brought onto the commission. So I'll defer to the other members.
It's something the chairperson does, and we're here just merely to say you've done a good job. So
Good job,
you
Anna.
left out something. Good
Okay.
job, Anna. Okay, Chairman's Matters. Well, she isn't here to speak, so I think we're going to also pass on that. But on Anna's behalf, I think we're all just so pleased to have her here and to be part of this commission. It's certainly marvelous for Vero Beach. Staff matters? Gail, nothing going on? Nothing matters? That's sad. Nothing matters. All right, any
I have a
nothing else?
question.
We passed
Yeah.
members matters?
Yeah, I'm full of questions.
You're full of questions.
Yeah. I guess directed to staff and/or to Tammy, the databases that's been going back and forth and that we've been working on, have they been completed to city satisfaction adequately?
I haven't been involved with that. I'd have to look into that. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
I don't. I know that I think Tracy and Tim were kind of working on that.
Okay. I'll find out in the next meeting. Or I
And
can
you've
find
been in
out.
communication with the planning department about that, I had read, or?
Yeah, with Tracy and what's the other lady's name?
There's Tracy.
In your
Sherry?
off- Huh?
Sherry, I know you had sent them to us.
Right,
and we just
right.
automatically
Sherry
sent
and
them
Tracy.
to the planning. So
Yeah, we've been going back and forth as far as getting. I presume the exercise was to be able to create a mailing list, so the addresses had to be separated and what have you. And I was curious of whether everything that's been done to date has been making their job not necessarily easier, but possible, I guess, being put into a database.
We will find out.
I do have a question moving forward on that, and I know this database is intended to be something that we can use, the city can use as a means to reach out and contact potential or owners of potentially inviting properties. And my question is, I think there was 100 and some odd or close to 200 addresses on that. And I guess I'm wondering now what the next step, if the database is satisfactory and is mailable, what would the next step be?
I would imagine to perfect whatever generic yet personal enough to be meaningful mailing, which I understood you to be working on independently.
Yeah, I came up with a draft. I haven't heard anything since then. It's pretty. It's
I
a
don't
pretty
think
simple
I've had a
thing.
chance to look at it.
Is that
so,
right? Okay.
I'd love to have an opportunity to read that.
My main question, I guess, why I wondered was the fact if there are 175 or 200 or whatever number of properties that there are, some of those properties may or may not be necessarily eligible for one reason or another. And, of course, we're dealing with a database that has an address. And there are no descriptions, no property photographs, nothing. And I wonder whether before any type of mass mailing went out with these things, that perhaps it would be smart to review the properties that are on that database to make sure that we're not spinning our wheels and sending notices out to perhaps the property's been torn down since then or whatever, for whatever reason.
George, I think we touched on that before, the potential of that happening, and decided that I think it was easier just to do the mailing, and there were other reasons where you wouldn't go around other people's properties, and it just to make this as short as possible, I think we decided to come up with the appropriately worded mailing that would not specifically say that you were the owner of a property that definitely was a historic property or eligible for any historic kind of treatments, but that still we invited your interest that you could check. So therefore, if a property owner would receive something like that and there would no longer be a building standing on that site, they wouldn't feel compelled to call or to follow up, or it would be understood that it was merely an observation, an invitation, but general enough so that it didn't seem like it was something that people were being ordered to respond to.
Right. Okay.
Way, but just to invite interest.
Something polite.
Something polite. Exactly. So I think that's how we left it. And then I think it'll be very interesting to send that mailing and then to measure our response and to see out of, let's say if we send out 200, how many people are going to respond back. And then I think if we don't get much of a response, then we could say, well, why not? And then maybe make some extra efforts to go in to see if actually those sites are gone, or if perhaps half of those letters were returned or never went to the, whoever owns the property today, or whatever, if there were different problems associated with the lack of a response.
Has a policy or a procedural how should I couch my words here? Has the procedure been discussed on how these properties are going to be looked at? Let's suppose out of the 200 we get 20 people that are interested in that. Then I guess maybe I'm getting a little bit too far ahead of things. I'm just wondering how the procedure will work then to review those.
I think they follow the same procedure that we have described online, where you go through that process, and if you need help, we have said initially that our friends in the planning department would advise and kind of handhold and give those property owners help going through the process of seeing. It's like a discovery process where you see if indeed your house conforms to those very specific state, for us, guidelines as to what designates.
So staff would then be the entity that would review those properties, not just on paper, but
well, no, I think it all happens on paper initially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else about the letter? That's
sorry.
it? Okay. All right. We're good. All right. I think at 9:48, this is record breaking. One of our briefest meetings ever. Let's not get used to it. Time to say goodbye until next month, first Thursday.
Move we
February.
adjourn.
We will be here again. We will meet again. So thank you, everyone, for coming today. It may not be too hot in Vero Beach today, but we're happy here. We're not in Flint, Michigan. All right. Goodbye, all. This meeting is adjourned.